Today, more than ever, while Washington works for the rich and the powerful, states and cities are on the front line to fight back.
We see a profound change happening under this administration. You see civil rights, voting rights, environmental issues. All of that seems to be being rolled back right now.
You know, if you look at the civil code, if you look at the penal code, tissue-thin pages, and these books are filled with laws. The question becomes, with limited resources, which ones are we going to take on?
There are a lot of good laws already out there if people would just pick them up and use them.
Most people don't understand how it often takes lawyers and activists to make real the ideals and the laws of our country.
Lawyers are stunned by the impact they can have in public service.
There are so many laws that can allow you to give power to people who otherwise aren't being heard.
Cities possess the ability to be civil rights organizations, to be consumer protection organizations, to enforce all the laws that are on the books right now, but are not a reality because no one is out there enforcing them.
States and cities can fill that void, but they need resources to do that. That's where Public Rights Project comes in. We train and equip talented attorneys to spend 2 years in public service in state and local government, and we work with those offices to bring more cases to protect their residents' legal rights.
The work of an attorney general's office or a city attorney's office touches every aspect of ordinary life.
Cities can do the same work that you see being done by the ACLU, by the NAACP, LDF, by all these wonderful organizations out there, except that they have, in many ways, more tools in their toolkit.
Standing up against the Muslim ban, defending the rights of the DACA kids, protecting a woman's right to choose. There are enforcement mechanisms that are available to these public law offices at a local and a state level that are at the front line when the federal government fails to act or when the federal government acts irresponsibly.
Public Rights Project's mission is to eliminate the gap between the values expressed in our laws and the lived reality of our most vulnerable communities.
We sent in testers in a particular community in New Jersey to find out whether or not African Americans and Latino people were being denied access to certain apartments. They were. We sued them and made them fix it.
This morning, my office filed suit against Corinthian colleges. I sued Corinthian colleges because we learned through our investigation that they were engaged in false promises. They were engaged in unethical advertising to seduce and to lure people into signing up and paying fees to get an education that did not result in what they promised it would, which is a job and a meaningful employment. And we were able to convince the federal government at the time to also do its part, which is to forgive the loans. All of that was about, having the right people in place in the office to be able to fight for the rights of these kids.
I repeat, there is a right to marriage equality.
I spent my year as a legal fellow in the San Francisco City Attorney's Office fighting to vindicate the right of every Californian to marry the person that they love.
You must start the marriages immediately. I now declare you spouses for life.
My husband and I were actually planning our own wedding at the time. We were keenly aware of the fact that as an interracial couple, the only reason we were able to get married is because someone filed a lawsuit decades earlier.
What you're limited by is your own creativity. If you can imagine it and you see a need in the community, there is a state law or city law that addresses that area.
Local communities are where you can be entrepreneurs in the cause of justice.
Your work has a direct impact on the lives of real human beings.
You can make legal protections a reality for communities across this country.
Join the fight.
Join the fight.
Join the fight.
Join the fight today.
Join the fight. Join Public Rights Project.